quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. It's where we all begin. Welcome to Lazy Dog Typewriters.
Howdy folks, and another quick review from the workbench. We have here a Royal Apollo 10 GT. And even though it says Royal on it, it was made by Silver Seiko, which didn't make watches, but it made you think that they did. They're a Japanese manufacturer, much like Brother, and Nakajima based as well, as I believe. And they made this lovely, lightweight typer. And this claim to fame for the Royal Apollo series. There's a 10 GT and a 12 GT. The 10 is my favorite because I like the compact styling. Is that they are extremely quiet. So this is an electric typewriter, but it has a lot of manual components to it. So for example, of course you have a manual carriage return, and you have a manual spacebar action, right? That's kind of unusual in an electric typewriter. You also have a manual backspace and manual tabs, which is not that unusual as well. So, and you have a manual shift here, a carriage shift. So I don't know how many carriage shifted electric typewriters there are, but you've definitely got one in front of you here. So one of the neat things about it is I mentioned how quiet it is, and let's see if you guys can hear this. We'll turn it on now. And there is just the slightest little hum from this motor. I almost was going to try to trick you at the beginning and tell you that it was off. But it's just super quiet, and that's super nice. So just rounding out the feature set as we wait here, of course you've got your platen knobs, you have a paper bail with the integrated ruler, your carriage release lever, you only have one carriage release lever, your paper tension selector here, which will let you put paper in and out and make adjustments. You've got your manual carriage margin sliders here, and they have the sort of specific shape. I think of them as a pagoda, I guess you can think of them as a crescent. You've got a pop-up margin support that only goes one way. That should be very familiar to you if you have looked at our review of the Royal, well, not our review, but Typewriter Minutes review of the Royal Silver Seiko that's also branded as a Mercury. So, in any case, all the same features coming around, kind of hard with the cord, but coming around on the left side to release the carriage. One thing I want to point out, cameraman Katie, if you can come up and zoom in. Woo, all right. So one notable object on the line selector level, 1, 1.5, 2, and 3, is that there's a red dot. And what's the point of that red dot? Well, the red dot is actually the carriage lock. It puts it in freewheel mode for one, or it should, and then it puts it into a lock. So when you put the carriage back, it stops right there. So one of our earlier models, the Royal Jet, I think I was perplexed at what that was, but it is a carriage lock mechanism. It looks like this back plate on ours needs to be adjusted. It's a little bit tinny, and we'll fix that in a minute. All right, so in just a second here, we'll give you a typing sample. Okay, before we look under the hood, or do a typing sample, we'll look under the hood, and if I can get this off, there we go. Two very strong little grommets down in there. Here is your ribbon cover, and you have just a very simple, very standard layout. Now, over here on the left, why I wanted to show you, that's your single drive belt. And it's kind of like a vacuum cleaner belt, I believe, so there might be some hope of replacing it. But the good news is these things were made late enough in life that these belts are still good, which makes them a strong candidate for those of us who really like the electrics and the electric touch. So a real simple machine, simple, lightweight, easy to use, easy to service. These one screw here and one screw here is all you have to do to remove the carriage top case, and then from inside of there you can just lift up and take the whole machine out. So it's a very elegant design from a mechanic's point of view, and I certainly like that when it's time to clean them out, as we have done this one. Alright, so let's grab a piece of paper if we can. We'll load it up. We'll do just a quick typing test. Now I'm using several sheets of paper, one because I have them handy, but two because the platens on these, that is the one downfall that many machines suffer, is the platens on these machines have become hard. So whatever the composition of the rubber was that Brother used in all its machines, it has miraculously remained soft. But this rubber from Silver Seiko, like many of the others, is hard, so you just have to deal with a hard rubber platen. And in this case, that means it will sometimes, on certain letters like the O, punch a hole if you don't have multiple sheets of paper or a backing sheet. Let's see if I can get this in frame here. without being too much crooked. So apologize for that. My cameraman ran off for bedtime. The quick brown box jumps over the lazy dog. Okay, and then we'll put it in blue. Now is the time for all good men to come to the aid of their country. All right, so we'll take a look at the impression. We have a green and blue ribbon installed because I just love the green and blue ribbons. It's very crisp and clean pica. I think I missed one space, so just prove it's me. 2 spaces, it's still me. And just a great machine. If you are a new typist and you're not sure that you have the hand strength or you're concerned about typing on a manual typewriter, I really like the electrics. This one is lightweight and easy, relatively easy to carry around. So it's a great choice for beginning, for someone who wants to transition, but they're a little bit nervous perhaps about a straight-up manual typewriter. And I think it just checks all the boxes for me. You've got a manual carriage return, manual function, and lightweight portability, super quiet, and just all around great, nice typewriter. These come in 3 different colors. They have the blue, which I love, probably my favorite. There's 2-tone blue. It also comes in a white. I called one I had like that, called it Moonraker because it reminded me of that so much. And it also comes in a Hook'em Horns UT orange-white combo, which reminds me I need to show you the case lid. I'll take the paper out, position our carriage where it ought to be. There we go, and push down on your arm, turn it off of course, and you can then put your very svelte 1970s styling lid on it. And we'll zoom out and give you a look at that sucker. I don't know, it's a little bit eggshell shaped or aerodynamic, I'm not sure. Reminds me of things I saw in the airports in the 70s. It's kind of the chairs and things that they had for watching TV and other strange memories that are popping in my mind. Anyway, it's a great machine. Hope you've enjoyed learning about it, and we'll see you a little bit later.
Please like, subscribe, and share.